Welcome to the KMC Collective Podcast, where the KMC team brings you practical insights, creative ideas, and authentic conversations for children's ministry leaders. Each conversation is packed with strategies to help you lead with clarity, build strong teams, nurture families, and stay healthy in the process. Whether you're planning lessons, training volunteers, or seeking encouragement for the week ahead, this podcast is for you. We hope to make you laugh, cry, think, and maybe a bit of all three in each of our weekly conversations. This is the KMC Collective Podcast. Let's jump into the conversation.
Yo, KidMin is full. And let's be honest, you've been leading volunteers, partnering with parents, managing curriculum, solving problems every day, trying to stay spiritually healthy along the way. And you know what? We all wish there were tools to help us make sense of it all. So that's what we're going to talk about.
All right. Welcome to the KMC Collective Podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Ben.
I'm Vickie.
But where's
I'm
Cole?
I had to turn my hat around backwards so that, Cole didn't get left out.
There you go. Yep.
He is, while we're filming and recording, he is hanging out at the church conference, doing his thing, learning a lot, and I can't wait to hear everything that he took away. So,
absolutely, it sounds like it. He's been having some good conversations, and he's fresh off of D6 conference because both Cole and I were there, and it was so good. We had a bunch of people come up and say, hey, we listened to the podcast. I've had a few that said we watch it on YouTube, which is really cool. And then we did a breakout, Cole and I, on building healthy volunteer teams. And we had a bunch of people that hadn't heard of us. It was kind of devastating, but cool because now they have.
That's right.
And we've got a whole bunch of people that hopefully, if you met us at D6 and you're listening now, thanks for joining us. We're glad that you are a listener or a viewer of the YouTube channel. So I think this is going to be a fun conversation because I love ministry tools. I like working smarter, not harder. I don't know about y'all, but
I like the stress and I like the craziness of every day is different. But I will be honest, like if I could just make it easier. The stress is less stressful, but more like wide open. I think I'm down for it. But I'm excited because we have Vickie, who is ultra like keep it simple and smart. And I need to learn how to be smart. So Vickie, take us away. Like what helps us? Like what practical tools are your go-to tools to make life more simple and less stressful, like I like it.
Right? Okay, so that's why we all just can relate to each other.
Yep.
One of my favorite tools, I mean, I have a few that are my go-to. One of my favorite tools, and I think it's overlooked, especially when we go through seasons, is our calendar. And I know we don't need to talk long about it, but we need to think of our calendars as a tool to help us.
Yes.
So what does it look like to work your plan your work? I may have said this before on the podcast. If you've been around me for any length of time, I say it probably way too much, but it's just so easy. It's a tool that I use. I put everything in my calendar, and I think it's underutilized for some of us.
Yes.
I just want to be able to have it in my calendar so I know what I'm working on, so then I can free up my brain for creativity. And I'm telling you, I did it this week, and I was able to spend a 4-hour chunk on being creative about fun summer camp because I had my calendar in order.
Yes.
How hardcore of a calendar-esque person are you? So like I asked because I was challenged because I am so spontaneous and I've got so much going on in my head to start using my calendar. And in fact, had a nice phone call with the great Jim Weidman and learned so much on how to time manage. In fact, I
Yep.
highly recommend. You want a good resource? Time management book that by Jim Weidman
Yep.
is
Mm-hmm.
what is it called?
Beat the
It's about
clock
time or
or
something.
stretch, one of those two, both of those two. But beat the clock was his original time
Beat the clock.
management.
Yes,
Um,
such a good book. And
yep.
he, at that point in ministry, would even schedule out lunches. So as
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yes.
putting everything into his calendar, he knows, okay, I'm going to work until this time. This is my lunch. And on Monday, I do this. On Tuesday, we go to Wendy's. On Thursday, it's Taco Bell. And so that he doesn't have to use that brain
That's right.
power to choose what exactly he's going to do. And I'm like, that is brilliant.
Yep.
I'm not that hardcore when it comes to calendaring, but to make your life easier, you put it in a calendar, and I've started doing that, and I agree with you. It makes life amazingly
Yep.
easier when it pops up. Oh, I got to go here,
Yeah.
but I want to
I
know how
wasn't,
hardcore you are.
yeah, I wasn't a calendar person. Um, I tried being a to-do list person. I had like 5 different to-do list apps, and God bless
There
those
you go.
people that are to-do list people. But I'm telling you, um, time blocking on your calendar, putting tasks and reminders on your calendar that you see, having things that you're going to do every day, you know, because I themed my days. That's what I coach now. Is I tell people, figure out your tasks. It's the whole thing. God named things. He sorted things, and then he ordered things.
That's good.
And so for
Preach.
me, my I got to figure out all my tasks, and I group them together. And so I've got them named by categories, and then I can block them on my calendar better. And so I know, and there's certain things that are just hardcore they're always there. Standing meetings, certain tasks that have to be done on certain days, or a certain time of the month, turning in receipts and all that kind of stuff. And you put those reminders on your calendar. I would block my vacation out before I started calendaring for the whole year, because otherwise my calendar was going to fill up, and boom, I'm gonna miss my vacation because I planned something in there. So I'm one of those. Yeah, I'm a lot more hardcore calendar than I've ever been in my life, because if it's not on my calendar, it's just a wish. When it goes on my calendar, it's an appointment, and it better be something that it's going to have to take a big thing to push it to a different spot on the calendar. But I even blocked buffer times. I was just teaching this in the New Leader Foundations group the other day. I said I plan for interruptions. So I've put buffers in my day, 30-minute blocks. That way, if somebody came by my office and said, "Hey, you got 5 minutes?" Well, not yet, but later in the day, I've got a 30-minute block here. Come back to my office, and I'm going to put you on my calendar. Come on back here, and we'll talk. I planned for interruptions, and it was a game changer for me because I could focus more. I had deep focus times where I knew I was at my best, and I knew that I could focus in and zoom in on things. I put all those other little tasks like doing receipts, doing reports, um, doing uh, order lists, um, even checking email and text messages. Those were in the end of my day, where my brain power is not so great, and I'm getting tired and worn down. And then before I would leave the office, I planned out my next day to see what things did I get done or not get done that I need to move into that next themed day, or where can I plot them on the calendar. So for
So,
me,
Mr.
yeah,
To Do
I'm a lot
List.
more hardcore calendar than I'm to-do list person.
So, Mr. To Do List guy. Um, do
Not anymore.
you still not anymore? So, I would say you probably, if you do write a list, you write it on paper, correct? Are you at that
Uh
level? You went backwards?
no, I mean I used to, but I am probably more, I mean I will at the moment, so that I can put it on my notes app in my phone because I use my notes app on my phone to put stuff on the calendar. So when I get an idea, it goes on either my paper notebook that I've got, or it goes on my notes app for an idea. And because again, brains aren't for remembering. That's what Jim always says. They're for creating, they're for thinking deep, but it's not always for remembering. We have those electronic devices. I have a brain that fits in my hand. My notes go here. And so I will use my notes app and put everything there, and then it goes on the calendar.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you have to repeat it twice? So if you're going to type in your to-do list in your notes app, then do you have to open up your calendar and do it again? Because I started using I'm a big Mac guy. I love my iPhone. Shout out to Apple for making my life easier.
Yeah, if they want to sponsor the episode, the podcast, feel free.
With their new CEO eventually. So what I've learned to start using is my reminder app, where I've got lists and lists of things and that I can put in folders and really like, okay, this is going to be my creative to-do list. This is my home to-do list. This is my wife gave me a to-do list.
The
and I can literally, as I'm typing that in, put it on my calendar by just clicking a button.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm a one shot. Like if I have to do it, I'm going to do it one time. I will forget to go to do it the second time. And I've met people like that. So like for me, that's been a lifesaver.
That's good.
I love Notes
app.
Like that. That's cool, but it's not a Mac product. But I will say it's probably my favorite
Apple Notes.
Windows
Apple
product.
Notes. I'm using Apple Notes.
I'm talking about OneNote. My bad.
Yeah.
I use that for
no,
other
I don't
things.
use OneNote.
We can talk about that.
That's a good tool.
Part of this.
Yeah, OneNote's a good tool. But yeah, no, I'm using my Apple Notes. And then usually, like again, if I'm putting something in and I know it's got a deadline, it's going on the calendar. And so I'll just copy and paste it. Because again, shout out to Apple products. You copy it on my phone and I can go right to my Mac and put it on the calendar there, or I can do it on my phone and I don't have to open up another device. You know, it's a blessing to be able to do. And I think the biggest thing I encourage a lot of leaders to do is find something that works for you.
Absolutely.
And then stick with it. Don't get caught in the shiny penny syndrome, because that's why I think at one time I had 8 to-do apps on my phone at one time. Because I kept hearing about somebody else talk about Todoist and OneNote and
there's a lot out there.
Yeah, you could go on and on naming them all. I don't have time for that.
What do you use, Vickie?
So here to answer your question, how religious I am about my calendar and like planning my work, it's not like a phase for me. It's survival. Like everything is there. And we're talking about tools, right? And tools are supposed to help us. So everything in my calendar, it's a set it and forget it. I wanted it in my calendar once. So if you're thinking tool minded, you're going to take some time to put this tool together. But the goal is that 3 weeks from now, you're not using a bunch of things.
Yep.
And so I'm a cross-platform girl. I have Apple products. I have Microsoft products. And so my calendar goes across all of them. So everything goes in my calendar. So for instance, if you were to look at my calendar, you could open it up on Monday morning and it says 9 a.m., administrative tasks. You open those administrative tasks and it has a list of everything I'm going to do that morning.
Bravo.
Inside your calendar?
What?
Inside the calendar?
Inside the calendar to do. So, right. Yeah. Like it's something that I have assigned me, but you can have, like, when you open that task, inside the task, you can have a list. So it's a set it and forget it.
I love that.
And then I also, so like Wednesday afternoons, those are my creative sessions. And so on my calendar, it says special projects. And in that special projects tab, it will say what I'm working on, whether it's a Christmas or Easter or camp. But you can add that right in your calendar.
think I need to set up a coaching call with you. Do you have 30-minute clarity availability?
I am available. Like seriously, like I love everything I do about my calendar. So I am so willing to talk about anything with anybody as it relates to calendaring for
I
sure.
think in the KidMin Plus group, we need to set up a workshop and have Vicky teach on.
I would love, I'm in. I'm in. Let's do it. We will
There
get
we go.
that. We need to get that done. So
There we
that's a
go.
little bit of, I mean, we could talk the whole half hour
Oh yeah.
of this podcast about calendar, but
Yep.
it is one tool. So that's our first tool
Yep.
to make your Kidmin leadership life easier.
Yep.
You're going to have some time to put into it in the up front, but I'm telling you, if you do it,
Yep.
it's going
Yeah.
to be
better.
I had
your
to test out. I really had to test out all those apps to see. And then, like I said, I realized, and I kind of stuck on Todoist for a while, and because I liked that it could connect to my calendar. But I
Mhm.
ended up discovering I could put all that in my calendar as reminders and then actually scheduling time to work on things. Because, for me, it's what can I do consistently? What can I make rote for me? And I just encourage people, because if you're like, well, I'm not that organized and all that. Look, I'm the world's most unorganized person. I'm a piles, not files kind of person. I've always lived that way, Mach 3 with my hair on fire. But I know that you will frustrate your team, you will frustrate your leadership, it will count against you. You will lose credibility with people if you can't find a way to think in steps and not leaps and bounds. And using a calendar is one of those tools that you can put it in steps and get it done. You can work backwards on deadlines, and it just is a game changer that, I saw some influencer talking about something sneaking up on you, and I'm like, if you're using your calendar, if you're planning and thinking, nothing should sneak up on you. The only thing that should sneak up on you is when your senior pastor walks in your door and goes, "Guess what we're going to do next week? We're going to 5 services." Then okay, that sneaks up
All
on
right.
you.
See, we already getting lost. We need to calendar this podcast.
Right?
You said there were
There we go.
4, right? Is that how many you said that you got 4 big ones that you like? Or did I make that up?
You may have made that up. I don't know. Let's go. So like, um, should we dive into the next tool that
Let's
is a hot topic
we
right
we
now?
have to touch on this, but this is going to be another episode.
It is. We need a
I'm
whole episode
yes,
on AI, but
that's right.
Because Tom
let's
is very opinionated about this, but we could
right. I
talk for
know.
30
I love
minutes.
AI.
We right, like AI can be really good as a tool, but I
Yep.
know it's a hot topic right now. Like,
Yep.
how do I use AI? What do I
Yep.
use AI for? Um,
There were
and
some
there's so much
discussions in a
out there
Facebook
where
group
they're
today
like
about
people are
that.
saying like people are writing books and they're writing whole curriculums and everything.
Yep.
But I think we can use AI appropriately as a tool to
Yeah.
help us in ministry. So if
Yep.
you were to use AI, what is one thing you would tell people tonight that AI could be used for as a tool to help you in ministry?
So I write curriculum. And
Okay?
I'm not saying use it to write curriculum, because I really do feel like you got to listen and hear from God.
Yep.
But
Amen.
here's
Yep.
an example. Last Wednesday, I was sitting in church, and the pastor was talking about the times that Jesus or in God wrote with his finger. And I'm like, all of a sudden, my creative brain pops up, and I'm like, man, this would be an amazing curriculum to teach kids how uh, Jesus wrote the 10 Commandments with his finger. He wrote in the sand. He wrote in stone. He wrote in the sand, and he writes salvation in our hearts. Like, there's just you can create such amazing like curriculum, but I needed like structure. Like, okay, this is cool.
Okay.
This is a cool
That's a good one.
subject.
Yep.
This would be a cool way. Now, how could I structure this to be a 4-week curriculum or a 3-week curriculum?
Mm-hmm.
So I just type in ChatGPT. I want to create a curriculum with the times that Jesus wrote and Jesus slash God wrote and with his finger. And it created this amazing curriculum, but it didn't give me 100% of the times that are listed in the Bible. Was what about that time he wrote to Belshazzar? I think it's Belshazzar um, with his finger. Well,
Yeah.
and oh yeah, that was a great one too. Thanks, AI. I'm smarter than you. And then it put it together and it created this structure like an outline that from there now my brain is kicked into full gear and I can start creating. What if you get stuck? And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I need an activity that goes with this. Like, what would you say a great activity or a craft would be, or an object lesson to go along with this scripture reference? And boom, within a couple seconds, you have, would you like more? And I'm like, yes, I would like more. Give me
Mm,
more. And then you
okay.
can pick and choose crafts, games, activities, and then you can put it together, edit, and it's almost like you hired someone to be your research and developer, where they're looking for all the stuff on the World Wide Web while you are putting it together. And so it's almost like you created your own little staff member. I've seen people take it and do in a, like not appropriate things, like write a book. I've even seen one of the top albums and music was an AI driven thing. And so like you gotta be careful. But if you just look at it as I need a sidekick to help me kick my brain into a structured format, um, it has been one of my favorite things. I love AI because I feel smarter when I use it.
I
Yeah.
love what you said. It's like a sidekick versus doing it for you. I
Right.
think there's the difference where we could tell people it is a good tool. I
Yep.
think we are scratching the surface, learning all about it, which is why we'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
Um, I like using it to dump if I'm like writing an article or like emails to parents, to even make sure like, can you make this more concise? So like it's not coming up with the idea, but it's helping me make it more concise. Which that is one way I love it, and it helps to get it done faster so I can get onto something else.
Yeah.
I struggle
Eh,
using professional words if you haven't noticed already. And I had some very smart person turn me on to Goblin Tools. Have you ever heard of them?
Nope.
No.
Goblin.tools. And basically, you can take anything you write and you can turn it into more professional. How professional do you want to make this thing? And you can like turn the spice level up or the star level up. You can create like make it brainstorm and put it into a structure for you. But I use it for like professional emails because like I have all these thoughts in my head and I want to type something to the parents or to a staff member, and it just sounds like a creative would write this. But if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be super professional, um, I'm like, this is brilliant. And it came from a very like structured lady that's like, you should learn to use this. And I took that as a great feedback, and I love it.
So, one of the things, and I'll make sure in the show notes and probably in our Better Together newsletter, we can put a link um, to a tool that I use because it's created. The guy that's behind it all is a believer, and what's really cool is that he is very careful about the models. You can get access to all, ChatGPT and Claude and all this kind of stuff. It has graphics and it's a very simple program. But what I love about it is the fact that I can create a writing persona where I submit stuff that I've written and have it analyze my writing style and my voice and my tone. And that way, when I ask it to write a post for me for social media or write a letter to someone, it's using me and all of the things I've
Mm-hmm.
written. Um, I had it help me create my Valleys Over Mountaintops workbook I put my book that I wrote, and
Started with something that you wrote,
it
which
was
is
all
good.
me.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
100% me. It was no AI back when I started writing this. Um, but I gave it to AI to use this program I use, and said, I want you to look at this and create some thoughtful, reflective questions. Help me guide people to process the concepts that I'm teaching in this book. And it really did give me, like Ben, it allowed me to see something that I didn't see, some avenues and some angles that I didn't see before. And then I went in and started rewriting um, a lot of it into what I wanted more of. But it was a springboard. It was a launch pad for me. And I tell people, look, don't be afraid of AI. There's a lot that's coming. There's a lot of things that it can help you do, analyzing your calendar, using it for time management. And you do a time study on yourself and have AI find the time wasters. You can do those
Ooh.
kind of things. um, Jim would love that. You can use it, like, there's so many things that you can. I mean, yes, the graphics are hinky because it adds extra arms and toes and noses and hands. I don't love it for the graphics and stuff, although it's getting better. There's some good tools out there, and the program that I'm using actually has some of those in it. But you can, if you're using it for sending out to church people, sending it out to sending out letters and emails, feed it some of your stuff that you've handwritten,
Mm-hmm.
thoughtfully.
There you go.
Feed it in there and let it analyze and develop a tone and a voice for you to write from. And it really will be more of you. And for those of you that are very paranoid about plagiarism, which we all should be,
Absolutely.
there are tools out there that will evaluate what the AI tool creates, that will tell you whether it's getting it's pulling stuff from outside sources. Most of this stuff though is not. And there's a lot of people that argue, the AI is such a terrible thing because it's plagiarizing. The tools that I've seen and analyzed, it's not. So anyway, I think there's a good use and a bad use. I would not use it as a theologian. I would always assume it's not biblically correct when you're asking for things, although it does a pretty good job. Um, it's not always there. And it's not always online with scripture. And so, but again, you should be doing that. You're the
It's a
spiritual
tool,
leader.
right? Yeah.
You should be filtering things and putting in those things. If you're using it to shortcut your own personal study, you're misusing it. That's not what AI should be for. Um, if you want to make coloring pages and all those kind of things, sure, it works. You can have it create a fun, but again, you got to teach it. You got to ask it to do those kind of things. But anyway, yeah, there's a whole podcast and a
Save
whole
it for another
workshop.
podcast
Right.
Yep,
because
we're
we
gonna
got
have
more
to,
to go.
because we've got other things we want to talk about tonight on this episode.
It is. And we can quickly go through the next one because I think it bridges AI. There's some of it that it can do for AI, but Canva.
Yeah.
It's
My
just
favorite.
right. And it's just
I
one,
love
but
it.
like it's starting to get into some, you can do some AI in it as well. But talk
Hmm.
to us about Canva, Ben.
Oh man, I love Canva. Like, but I'm a big Photoshop fan, but Canva it's easy. It's like you can go straight to print. Like you can do amazing things. And what took me 10 minutes of pulling an image out of a picture and adding it to another now takes one button push.
Hmm.
So it really does free up things. And as I travel around and do consultant work with other churches, I see the biggest struggle of small churches, medium-sized churches, and even large churches that don't have a professional designer. They try to put this stuff in a Microsoft Word document and it make it look cool, and then they want to reach kids all over. I highly recommend Canva because it's super easy to learn. If you don't know, like you talk to Vicky about calendar, I would love to sit and talk to you about Canva. I can teach
There
you
you
what each
go.
button does. But the thing is, like, you can look professional and know very little.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's the professionalism that grabs the attention of somebody. So
Yep.
whether it's a handout on a Sunday morning, if you're giving handouts for what the kid learned, to a flyer for an egg hunt, or a VBS event, or to even creating signs or stickers or anything like that, T-shirts, you can do it all right there.
Yeah.
And I may be, because I do that for other people, I may be kicking myself in the butt and taking a lot of the clientele away from me. But Canva, for a person that wants to look like they have their act together and they've got some professional programming, Canva is so easy. And it's just a matter of understanding what the buttons do. And with AI, you can say, I would love to put this picture into this picture and blend it together, and it would do it for you. Or, um, I mean, you could ask it to do different things. I've created videos. One of the things that I do right now in ministry is every day I'm on a YouTube, and so I use it to create YouTube videos or um,
Mm-hmm.
social media stories where you're posting what the kid learned this week. You put on social media. Um, it's super easy, and it's just a matter of, am I ready to take it to the next level? Or am I just going to stick with Microsoft Word or handwrite and make photocopies? Which I've just met with someone that literally hand wrote their VBS flyer and had a kid draw on it, which is cool. But you could take that drawing and add it to a really cool graphic and add fonts that are
Yeah.
full color, and
Yeah.
you can
Because you
take
can.
it to the next level for sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, even making postcards to send out to, instead of buying
Yes.
postcards, you can create your own postcards. You can create bookmarks. There's a lot of little simple things, and once you have the colors, your brand colors for your church, you can save all that stuff in, and with a click of the button, you can change pretty much anything into the colors of your children's ministry, to match your logo and all those kind of things. So I
And
think,
there's templates,
and
all
yes,
kinds of
there's all
templates.
Oh,
sorts of
all
stuff.
there you go. And that's where you use the tool to work for you.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. What's next, Vicky? What else? What are the things can we make Kidmin leadership life a little simpler?
All right. So I put on my calendar to set up a clarity call for Ben to learn Canva. Um, I think we need to talk briefly about Bible tools. There are
Mm.
tools, especially
Hmm.
like Ben, you're writing curriculum. There's a lot of tools out there.
Oh, yes.
I love Blue Letter Bible. I mean, there's
Yep.
a lot. I mean, even,
Yep.
I have a Bible app on my phone. I think it's an underutilized resource for those of us in ministry.
Yep.
Um, and so, what is your favorite Bible tool that you use when, like, you're doing research, you're looking up scripture? Um, would
Yeah.
go. What would you say you
The
go to?
the one that, and it was a gift. A bunch of my volunteers actually collected funds for, because it's not a cheap resource. But if you're wanting to be a student of the Bible, Logos is a huge Bible study tool. It has so much in it, but you can get the basic. I mean, there's web access for this, so it's one of those things where I got it years ago, and I haven't even upgraded to the latest and greatest. I'm using something that's old, and there's so much wisdom, and where I can literally highlight a couple words in a verse and do a word study on it, break it down so I understand this is where it's coming from. It has added depth to my Bible story telling, because I'm getting the deeper meaning behind it. And then it launches my creative side to go, okay, I want to take this top shelf knowledge and bring it down to where all the kids can grab at it and get it for themselves and start processing it. And that tool is something that has been so powerful for me. I mean, I've got all my old, I mean, if you saw my bookshelves on the other side of my camera, I have huge Bible dictionaries, and I have commentaries, and I have word study books. And I think all of those things are great. And I think every kids leader should have those. If you don't want to go digital, go old school. I still break my
There you go.
books out because those things are fantastic. I will say one other resource. There is, and it's New King James, but don't let that stop it. But it's called the Children's Ministry Resource Bible. This Bible has outlines of Bible lessons. It has training tips in it. It is, I've had this Bible for a lot of years. It's been around a long time. You can still find them in print. Has a wordless book built into it that you can share the gospel with. But that study Bible is such a powerful tool for me to break a lesson down. It has it set up so that you know how to start an introduction off the best way to grab their attention. You've got all these other tools that are built into it. And again, you've even got you've got training that you can teach from this Children's Ministry Resource Bible. So it's one of those would be my top 2 tools.
I'm a video guy. I learn very quickly by seeing pictures. So like reading books are good, but to comprehend quickly and deeply, more deep in my head is, man, I love going on YouTube and watching BibleProject videos.
Mm-hmm.
They will take
Those are good.
the story of David, or they'll take the book of First Peter, Second Peter, and they'll start from the beginning, and they draw these pictures, or they put these animated to the whole story, and it's legit, and it really does. Okay, that gives me an idea to start from. Or man, I never remembered that part of the story. And even the BibleProject Bible, like they've got so
That's
many
right.
good
So
resources. And I highly
That's
like
good. Yeah.
the videos are my thing. I love, like, if I'm getting ready to go preach and I've been studying, let's say, Moses, just to get a picture in my head, I'll go back right before I go on stage and I will watch the video on Moses from the BibleProject. It really does. Okay, that gives me a picture, that gives me an image, and it's very biblically like on point. And yeah, that's my go-to. And then my second go-to, it may be a little controversial, but the Gen Z Bible. Um, I bought it to do videos with Big Kid Ben, which is my YouTube persona, and do Bible story in less than 60 seconds for kids that don't go to church. And so, how do you relate with them when you talk their language sometimes? And so, by reading it from that, you may not understand it no matter how old you are, but it really does help make it simple, so that you can explain it simple, and start the desire for the kid to want to know more. And so, like, it depends on how deep you want to go, but I think it's funny. Gen Z Bible is one of my favorite things, and I lost it. It's somewhere in my office.
I know. I
don't
saw
know.
you were looking for it, and I was like, "What is he
I
looking
was gonna
for?
say
This
he's
is
like
going to
all over
be."
the camera.
I figured like Big Kid Ben was gonna like pop out into the screen, but it didn't
So mad.
happen.
I don't know
So
where it went.
Oh, well, the search is
yeah, I
on.
mean, we've only scratched the surface. That's only 4 tools. There are
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
many
there is.
more.
Yep.
Um,
We'll
but
have to
yeah,
come back to this topic. I
we
think
we
it
we
would
need
be
to because
good.
there's a couple more that I would like
Yeah.
to chat about that I think could
Yep.
be really helpful, but we're not going to
Should
give
we
it all
make a
away
part
tonight.
two?
Could
Part
be.
two with Cole?
Yeah.
Part 2 with
Well,
Cole.
we'll find out. I mean, yeah, we can
Who
see,
knows?
and we would love to hear from you, listeners. What tell us in the conversation in the Kid Ministry Collective Facebook group? What are some of your go-to resources? What helps you be a better leader? Probably some stuff that we haven't even thought about, or in a different category that we haven't talked about that we might talk about in another episode. But I'll tell you one more thing as we wrap up this episode, because our time is out, is one of the great resources is just being part of the Kid Ministry Collective Facebook group,
That's
getting
right.
around other leaders where iron can sharpen iron and we can be better together. And if you really want to take it to the next level, come check out kidminplus.net. In fact, for a little while longer while this episode goes, and depending on when you listen, it may be active, it may not, but we have a conference special going on right now where you can join for 6 months for $75. And you're going to get lessons on healthy leaders, healthy teams, healthy ministries. You get access to all 4 of us coaches. There's live coaching that happens periodically. We have live roundtable discussions. Join the conversation there where we can talk about this. We have a forum. We have a toolbox, all sorts of cool stuff. So there's your final 2 tools. Go check them out. Come join the group. Answer the questions if you want to join. All right, guys. That's going to have to wrap up. Cole missed a good one, but yeah, we'll have to see about bringing him in for a part 2 on this one. So until next time, my friends, thanks for listening to the KMC Collective. I'm Tom.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Vickie.
All right.
See ya.
We're out.
See ya.
Hey, friend, that wraps up the KMC Collective podcast for this week. Thanks so much for listening. If today's episode sparked something, an idea, a heartbeat, or a fresh start, drop us a line at tom@tombump.com or reach out on social media. We'd love to hear your story and keep the conversation going. Remember, you're not just doing kids ministry, you're shaping the next generation's faith with intention and care. Be encouraged, be creative, and take a breath. You've got this. Catch you next time on the KMC Collective Podcast.